First thing I'm going to ask you is, thinking back to going to school last year, how is this year different?
Well, we didn't really get a choice of what we got to do and what order we had it in. Or, like, if we got to do this in this order or that in that order.
Like last year's classrooms, they were different because we didn't get to choose what we did.
We didn't get any couches.
And this year we get to choose what we can do. It's way different.
And how has that been good for you?
It helps.
How?
Well, because if we are overwhelmed on something that we don't really want to do, we have a choice to do this before that, and we usually don't have a due date for something, so.
In choosing, it's just different because if you're stuck on something, you can go to something else.
Yeah, like we have something called the Fresh Grade in a morning journal. We get to choose what order we do that, and like if we want to do the morning journal first or Fresh Grade first. I usually do morning journal because it just feels right doing it first.
Yeah.
A term we've heard a lot here is growth mindset.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to somebody maybe who's watching this that doesn't know what growth mindset is, what it is, and why it's important to you?
It's where you're positive of what you're doing, and like you're not on the negative side. You're just, I can do this. This is, yeah.
Like you keep going and you don't stay in the same spot. And if you stay in the same spot, we call it a fixed mindset. And you can,
Which is
when
where-
you're in a growth mindset, you can keep going.
A
and
fixed
learn more.
mindset is like you're not negative. Your mind is fixed, and it's not really,
Doing anything.
yeah.
I guess so.
It's just on the negative side. And we learned that positivity can help you live longer.
Well, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
That might be the most important thing you learn this year. Be positive and live longer. A lot of people would visit your classroom and they'd see all different ages there, and that would seem unusual to them because in a traditional school it's all fifth graders
Right.
together, all second graders together. So I'd like to know from both of you, what is it like to have those different ages working together?
Well, when I first got in the classroom, I'm so scared. What if these 5th and 4th graders and older kids don't like me? Because I'm not really used to working with older kids than I am. I'm just used to working with my age. It felt different.
It's different because, like the 5th graders, if you can go up to them if you need something, and it's kind of fun to help the the younger ones if they need help. Yeah.
And it was really strange. But yesterday, someone was watching Kate do something, right? She was in this conversation that was off task, which, so she didn't want to be off task, so she moved. Little eyes are always watching you.
Well, Audrey, you said at first it felt really, really strange.
Yeah.
When did it stop? Does it still feel strange, or did it stop feeling strange?
It just stopped feeling strange because now I'm used to working with the 4th and 5th graders and all the older learners than me.
Let's say a student was moving into Mitchell and they were going to show up at school tomorrow. Oh no, I guess tomorrow's Saturday.
Monday.
And they'd never been in a classroom like this. How would you tell them this classroom functions? What's going to happen there day to day?
Well, first of all, I'd probably warn them. There's a whole bunch of older learners than you. And I'd start off by saying, this is PLC. It's different than a normal classroom. Well, I wouldn't say normal, like different. And I'd maybe show them around. And I don't know.
What would you show them?
Well, I'd show them because sometimes we have kids that are younger that work with like 4th and 5th graders, like because we all work at our own pace. Because maybe the teacher might show them. Well, because first we need to take our STAR tasks and STAR reading and STAR math, and that will help them know where we're at. So that will help them know where that new girl or person will be in learning?
I would try to probably help them like around and show them around. Help them maybe with their tasks if it's hard.
Like help them out?
Yeah, help them out on things.
But no, don't tell them the answer.
Just
Help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that you have big meetings, conferences.
Yeah.
Tell us about those and how they shape the day.
I love our group meetings. It helps us. And our teacher, Mrs. Moody, she kind of inspires us. She inspires me a little bit in the things she says. Our meetings, let me think. They help us go through our day, like what our plans are in the day. And yeah.
Well, about our conferences, parent-teacher conferences, which is where, like, we get to, like, basically do the conference. But with, like, our report card, sometimes we get to explain that, but then if we don't get it, our teachers will. Facilitators, I mean. Like, for conferences last time, I made this little folder to put everything in. And I had all my morning journal ready and my math journal ready and my writing notebook to show them everything that I've done. Like, show them how I started in the beginning of the year and how I ended. So it's kind of just like we basically get to run the meeting.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. What I was talking about were the big group meetings you have. But I did want to hear about the student-led conferences with your parents. That's a pretty big deal to be in charge of that conference.
Yeah,
I was kind of scared at first.
Yeah, me too. I was really nervous. I'm like, am I going to do this right or am I going to do this wrong?
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
But Mrs. Moody inspired me. There's no wrong way.
Yeah.
And Katie, I assume you've led
yeah.
a
Yeah.
conference?
It was kind of
How was it like for you?
Everyone gets to, except if the teachers think that they're not really exactly ready for it.
like for me, it was kind of scary at first, but then if you're like reading, you kind of get into it, and then it's not that scary anymore. And then you show them your stuff, and then it's just the teachers talk. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't talked about the group meeting yet.
Yeah.
So they have, like, there's these couches and tables on PLC 8. I'm pretty sure that's where all the all the tables are, which most of the tables are. And on PLC B, there's like a whole bunch of couches, like in a circle, so we can see each other. Yeah. At our group meetings, they always talk about, because we always have an email in the morning, and it talks about like what inspire us, like to be kind, have a growth mindset, stuff like that. And we had questions before yesterday. That was our last question yesterday. But this morning, it talked about like what integrity is and academic integrity and how, like, what that means and examples for it.
It really sets the tone for the day. Good. You mentioned getting emails.
Yep, that's where.
Is that new this year? Had you gotten
Yes.
teacher emails
Well,
before?
we got it like sort of, I think, like in about. Well, it wasn't in the beginning, but it wasn't in the end either. It was like in the middle, maybe not even, just like maybe a couple months or weeks after we got in the school. Yeah, I think a couple months.
Yeah, the emails help us. Like, if we need to talk to them and we can't get a hold of them or they're not here and we need something, they can just email us back.
Or if they're busy, because like I talked about earlier, fresh grade. Like if we have a fresh grade task done, we can email them and say, I'm done, can you please check it? And then if it's all done, they'll add a new one for you to work on. Like yesterday I just finished an informational fresh grade task, and she probably added a new one by now, but I haven't seen, so.
What are some other ways you use technology?
Oh, for research, definitely. They help us because the teachers let us go research whenever we want and use technology if we need something. It's really helpful.
That reminds me, they always tell us, use your school tools. Like if we ask them a question, like if we need help spelling a word, use your school tools, like your iPad, your dictionary.
Really help us. We have to use our school tools.
Because we're a self-learner, we can do that.
Ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're a self-learner,
Yeah.
but
Which
your
means-
teachers still have an important job.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us what you think the job of the teacher is now
Well,
in the self-learning.
before I start off, I know that a teacher is someone who tells or doesn't really help, like tells the students the answer, and a facilitator is where they just guide you to what you're going to. They just guide you. They don't tell you, or they just guide you.
Like they give you your tasks and then you can go work off on them. So like self-guiding or self-learning, you can just go off by yourself and work on them. That's what we've been really working on.
Mhm.
Good. Lenny, do you have some questions for them?
Well, you were talking about the self-guided kinds of things, but
Yeah.
in what ways do you work with other students? Do you get to choose when to work with students, or is that more teacher directed?
Well, it's sometimes we get to choose, but then sometimes we don't, because sometimes it's
Yeah.
like a group project.
Yeah, like
But then if we need help, we can go ask someone else.
Yeah. I like learning with other people and how, like, let's say I'm an older learner and there's younger learners. They come up to me and I can help them, and then they get like into bigger levels, and that just makes me feel better.
Because before Miss Fosness left, which was one of our teachers that was having a baby, before she left, I was in her group with all the 5th and 4th graders, and it felt kind of good getting help from an older learner than I am. But then again, it's really, really confusing because they always have recess before us, or they have lunch at a different time, or recess, or something like that. It's really confusing sometimes. Because all the 4th and 5th graders are PLC 3, like 3rd grade and 2nd grade, which is like me, are PLC 2, and then 1st grade is PLC 1. So we go through 1st through 5th, but we don't really include kindergarten.
Are there ways you think, like you're probably going to go to middle school next, and
No, I'm in 4th grade.
you're in 4th grade?
Yeah.
and
I'm in
you're
3rd grade.
third grade,
I have
okay.
2 more years to go
So you still got a
until I'm
little
in
bit to
5th,
go
yeah.
yet. Okay. Are there ways that you think this is actually helping you be ready for the older grades when you get there?
They're actually learning us above our level. That really helps. Like,
Yeah, like it feels like we're gonna be higher than we should be, cause I'm in 3rd grade and I feel like I know more than a 3rd grader should.
and it guides us through our learning. Like, we're learning over a level, and it makes us feel good. Like, I don't know.
I think I'm gonna be ready for middle school when I get to it.
Yeah.
Have there ever been days where you remember being in the other kind of classroom, which was just one teacher, and
Yeah.
all the same age? Have there ever been days where you said, "Boy, those are kind of good, simple times. I'd like to go back to that"?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm like, well, I missed with being all my friends that didn't want to be in PLC. I miss all those, but then again, I have a whole bunch of new friends in PLC that really helps me out. Sometimes I do think back to the old days.
I don't think I would go back to an original classroom or a normal classroom. I would stay in PLC. A reason why is because, well, everyone's in it, and it's like a big community, and I don't know, it's just been helping me through the years.
And I'm not saying that I don't want to stay in PLC, but sometimes I just miss the old times. But I'd still stay in PLC because it's a pretty good class.
I'm definitely gonna go in it next year.
I'm wondering how they even thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they put a lot of thought and planning into it.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm happy.
Yeah,
Studying other
and
schools.
they say that the furniture was like $50 each, so that's quite a bit. Or did they say 500? I don't remember. But we have all sorts of furniture and chairs and tables. And they even painted the walls. Like, it took a lot of work to get that classroom ready. So they try to say, don't tape things on the wall so it ruins it. Don't poke holes through the couches or furniture. Don't do stuff like that, because it was a lot of work to get that whole classroom ready.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Give Me 5. What is that?
That's where, like, or,
They need your attention.
yeah, like, let's say Kate doesn't know how to do something that I do, I'd say, give me 5. If anyone needs help with anything, come to me. I can have a little meeting.
Doing a video.
Like, it gets their attention, but we changed that a little bit, but it's not like we don't do it. We changed it since it doesn't really work. If it's like too loud, we flick off the lights for about 2 seconds and then turn them back on. But if the lights are already off, it's the opposite way.
The teachers do it more than the students because they just need their attention really fast. So just like, give me 5.
Yeah, or some kids do it like if like you're being too loud, like give me 5. We need to be quieter.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's for fun. When Mrs. Moody says give me 5, I give her a high 5.
Sometimes they use it for help, but sometimes they use it as a way to help lead or
Yes, like calm people down.